Hey guys, David here for the Financial Couple. In today's video, I wanted to talk about personal finance. We are currently covering real estate videos with Hannah. I have been covering the stock market, and together we have done Millennial money habits, which I will link down below for you guys to go check them out. But we have never gone over personal finance and expenses. Today, I'm going to be talking about my student loans. Over 65% of students after high school will attend a college or a university, where only 68% will receive their degree. 70% will have student loans. Regardless of them getting their degree or not, after 6 months of their last semester, 100% of them will have to begin paying for their student loans. In my case, right after high school, I attended the University of Arizona and got a bachelor's degree in systems engineering. I worked extremely hard and was able to land a job as an engineer right after graduation. I was very excited to begin a new chapter of my life until I got an email from my student loan provider congratulating me for graduating and just letting me know that I had 6 months, which is also known as a grace period, to begin paying my loans. I opened the link that was attached and saw that after 4 years, I racked a total of $23,000 in student loans with interest rates ranging from 3.76 to 4.66%. I remember that they had a payoff calculator, and if I decided to do the minimum payment, I was gonna be debt-free in 10 years. At that time, I honestly felt trapped, and even though I had a job, I never thought about how I was gonna be able to pay those loans. During my college years, all I remember was filling out the FAFSA application every single year, and after getting my results a few months later, the university would award me a few grants based on my academic performance. That would cover anywhere between 40 to 45% of the tuition, and then the rest would come from student loans and my part-time job working at Subway and later on as a bank teller. Right after graduation, I remember that one day I was at the office working on a project and two coworkers started talking about their kids going to school and how they were going to make it work so that they would leave college without any student loans. I asked if that was even possible. They legit looked at me and laughed. They asked me how much I had, and they told me that the best advice that they could give me was to pay them off as soon as possible. I remember going home that night talking to my parents about it, and they also told me the same thing, to just pay them off as soon as possible so that I would be debt free. I felt very motivated, and my dad recommended me to read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and a few friends from work told me to read Dave Ramsey, which would change the way I see money forever. If you guys have never heard of those books, I strongly suggest that you take a look at them, since they will teach you stuff about money that no one else will. Even though it was going to take time and a lot of sacrifice, I felt extremely motivated, and that night I created an Excel sheet to calculate how long it was going to take me to pay them off. Based on my calculations, I decided to pay $1,000 each month, and this is exactly the blueprint that I used to be able to pay the $23,000 in less than 10 months. Tip number one will be to save as much as possible and make the biggest payment that you possibly can. In my case, I live with $23,000. And after 6 months, I was able to save around $10,000. And I know that a lot of people will be like, how do you get that? Well, I'll get to that in just a few minutes. But that was very, very important for me, at least for me, because seeing that number go down from $23,000 to $13,000 was kind of like a motivation. It just really made me keep pushing and work hard to bring that number from 13,000 to zero. For tip number two will be to track your expenses. And I know that a lot of you guys are going to be like, really? Like, that's the tip number two? I know it might sound silly, and I honestly believe that when it comes to finance, there are no tricks or anything extraordinary that you can do. It's all just being disciplined and being willing to do the work. That's all it really takes to pay loans. So the second one, like I said, is just to track your expenses. Really know what you're spending your money on. Like if you're going every single weekend with your friends, make sure that instead of going every single weekend, you go like every other week, once every month, or if you're spending a lot of money on your coffee every single morning, I would suggest to stop doing that and start making it at home. But those are just a few things that you can do to track your expenses. There are plenty of apps out there. I legit just use an Excel sheet, but I know that they have so many of them. For the tip number three will be to cut unnecessary expenses. And in this case, I'll give you guys the examples or the things that I did. In my case, I had an iPhone 7, which I actually still have. I'm not going to buy the iPhone 10 or the 11 until my phone breaks. That's just my plan. But I had a plan on my phone that was very expensive, and I just talked to the company. I'm like, you know what? I want to downsize. And of course, they're going to try to like sell you something even better. But in my case, I just wanted to pay as low as possible. At the same time, I decided to pay off my phone because I knew that was going to help me later on to put more money towards my student loans. The second thing that I do was to lower my insurance, and a lot of people might think that is hard, but all you have to do is just ask. Legit, just get a baseline of how much you're paying right now, and then you just go and ask other companies. Maybe you have to call 4, 5, 6, 7, but I promise you there will be someone that will give you a better price. And that's another tip that you can do. Just start lowering all of your expenses. For tip number 4 will be to create a meal plan and also to, whenever you go out, find ways to have fun for free, which is actually possible, or just to lower your price. Guys, if you decide to go out, one thing that we do, and that we could probably make a video later on if you guys want, do not ask for soda. Personally, we don't drink whenever we go out, and at the same time, we don't drink soda because we, feel that it has a lot of sugar, but we just always ask for water. If you just do that, I promise you, it's gonna cut a huge chunk of your check. Now, if you want appetizers, I would just put them on the side. You do not need that. Just go with a plan in mind of exactly what you're looking for, and then just order that. If you want dessert, maybe you can share one, And then the other thing that we usually do is that we are members on certain movie theaters where you can only pay like a monthly quote, and then that gives us access to maybe 1 ticket or 2 tickets, and then if we don't use them, then it just rolls over, but it is way cheaper than if you would just show up at the movie theater. Oh, I also forgot to mention that we have this place that offers an annual pass. So if you're lucky and you're in California, you can get a pass to go to Disneyland or to Knott's Berry Farm or to Six Flags. Just go ahead and do that. You can use that every single week, and I promise you that instead of going out for drinks or going out to eat, if you just decide to do that, it will save you a lot of money. Tip number 5 will be to increase your income, and of course, that's just obvious, right? Many of us are just going to work and that's all we're doing. But right after work, man, you have plenty of time to make more money. In my case, during the weekends, I was just going to my local ice rink and I was just helping kids out. I also had other kids that would allow me to just drive them, just teach them a few things, some basic stuff on how to use their ice skates. And then I was getting money that way. Now, the second thing that I did is that I legit just went onto YouTube and I just searched for ways of making money. And I ran across this couple that would sell stuff on eBay. At first I thought it was not gonna work, but guys, I promise you, it does work. Every single weekend, I would legit just go to like the Salvation Army, Goodwill, or even yard sales, and I would get like 5 to 10 shirts, and it is super simple. And I actually have a few of them here. You can get like polos that we have in here. Here we have a Nike that I got. I just have stickers on the back, But all you have to do is just go get them. You might pay like maybe $5. Sometimes they have discount days where you pay like $2.50. And all you have to get is just your poly bags, which are right here. Get your poly bags, and then you just have to get your labels. So you just print the label, you just put it right here, you slide the back, and then it's ready to go. And then when it came to that, it is just about being consistent, If you start doing it every single weekend, it's gonna get to the point where you're gonna be collecting maybe like 30, even more shirts a month, and I promise you that they will sell. All you have to do is just get the right products at the right price. For tip number 6, I would suggest you just have a minimalistic mindset, and by this I mean that have that mentality that you do not need 5 shirts. You might need just 2, or you don't need like 3 pairs of sneakers. You only need 1 or 2, Just keep that in mind, and I promise you that will reduce your expenses. Tip number 6 is to motivate yourself. Just plan everything. Plan everything out. Put it on a piece of paper, kind of like create your milestones. I would also suggest that you start reading motivational books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Dave Ramsey, The Millionaire Next Door, you name it, the 4-hour week. There's plenty of books out there that will really motivate you to keep going, and just know your end goal. Know where the finish line is, and then just keep tracking your progress. And that is it. Those are all the tips. That's the blueprint that I actually used. I remember that when I paid it off, I got an email saying like, congratulations. And if I remember correctly, I think that I only paid like $500 or maybe less than $500 on interest. So imagine someone had to give me that money for 4 years and all they got was $500. So that was a great business for me. Maybe not much for them, but hey, you gotta be smart and do what you gotta do. Guys, if you found this video helpful, please let me know by hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you like what you see, please let me know in the comments below. If you guys have any questions or any way that I can help you, please just leave it down there and I'll respond to you as soon as possible. Follow us on Instagram @TheFinancialCouple. And besides that, I'll see you guys on the next video.